I'm Mike. Welcome to my Waffle Square, where I obsess about things and you get to benefit from it. So in this video, we're going to talk about the fact that currently the M6 Mark II RAW files cannot be read or previewed by the Gnarbox 2.0. Let me explain. I was at my daughter's softball tournament recently and shot lots of video and photos. I had the perfect setup to shoot from behind the outfield, which was the Canon M6 Mark II with the electronic viewfinder attached and the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 adapted to it. It worked great in the bright daylight using the touchpad enabled autofocus. In fact, my only mistake was using manual mode for some of the photos instead of trusting the autofocus. So after we were done, I loaded the SD card onto the Gnarbox 2.0 while driving home. And when I opened the Selects app later to preview and triage the photos, I noticed they were all pixelated. So the first day of that tournament, I shot in compressed RAW because I'd had previous issues with the EOS R with the full-sized RAW files on my iPad Pro. So the next day, I tried RAW, compressed RAW, and JPEG. And again, both the RAW and compressed RAW files were pixelated when I went to review them in Selects. And at first I thought I needed to make previews like you do with video, but there is no function for that. So I contacted Gnarbox customer support. And they got back to me immediately on a Saturday night, which was very impressive. So Kat from Gnarbox explained, it sounds like the .cr3 files from your camera may not be supported by Gnarbox, which is why you would see pixelation in Selects. As it is a relatively new camera, that would make sense. It does take some time to develop support for newer cameras. Despite the fact that many Canon cameras shoot .cr3 files, each of those from each camera is unique in how it needs to get decoded. I was able to test a sample file and I do see the pixelation you're experiencing, which would indicate an improper decoding. I would be happy to file a ticket with our team to resolve this issue. Best, Kat. Well, I didn't really know what file a ticket meant, so I asked if my files were still good. And she got back to me and said, the files themselves on the Gnarbox are completely fine. What you're seeing is just the preview the Gnarbox software is generating, which is not doing it as it should. I have already sent off a bug ticket for the team to take a look. Essentially, whenever a raw image is previewed anywhere, whether it's your computer in a software like Lightroom or on a Gnarbox, the raw data, hence the name, needs to be decoded and a preview created. Some programs utilize the embedded JPEG that comes with the raw file, which is what allows you to preview on the back of your camera, for example. Some programs decode their own, as Gnarbox does, since the quality embedded JPEGs can vary across camera files. Hope that explains why it's going on a bit better, Kat. So then I asked for an update a few days later, and this time I heard from Marlena. And Marlena said, a bug report has been filed with our engineering team. We have a very small but mighty engineering team who are currently working on a scheduled release slated for April. So any bugs that come in before that release is scheduled will get assessed after the release and decided on by our product team. I can't make any guarantees as to when this bug will be addressed, but the team is aware of it, and we hope to bring support for this camera to the Gnarbox in the near future. Best, Marlena. So let's all hope that this issue gets resolved quickly by Gnarbox. I did look down their list of various cameras and the support for the RAW files, and the overwhelming majority are supported. However, I noticed the Canon EOS RP was not supported, and when I look down the list, the Canon M6 Mark II doesn't even appear on it. So in their minds, I guess it is a relatively new camera. So in the interim, what is the workaround? Well, the easiest workaround is to disregard the Gnarbox completely and simply load the SD card directly onto your iPad Pro or desktop. So as you can see here, I have a JPEG, a compressed RAW, and a RAW image. Let's import all three. And as you can see here, it imports them all with no issue. But what if, like me, you downloaded your RAW files directly onto the Gnarbox 2.0 before realizing it can't decode them? Well, first, if you use Lightroom CC, you can create a folder and you can import the RAW files into that folder from the Files apps on your iPad. Here is a link to the video from Gnarbox YouTube channel explaining exactly how to do that. Now, as you can see here, this does work. Now, I was a bit confused when I first tried this because each picture I selected displayed a download error until it was completely transferred. Now, what if we switch the Gnarbox 2.0 into mass storage mode? Let's let it reboot and give it a shot. All right, we got the Gnarbox switched over to mass storage mode, and let's plug it in here and see what happens. All right, so it pops up right here on the Files app as Gnarbox. Click on that. There's all our folders. So let's try to make it easy. We'll go to Select. Let's just pick a random 3 photos. Let's try Share. And let's share those with Lightroom. And there they are. If you recall, I selected 8, 10, 11, and 12, right? So let's check here. If we go into the All section, not the folder I had, but the All section, you can see here's 8.12, 8.11, and 8.10. So that works as well. All right, what if you're not using Lightroom? You just want to use photos. Well, let's go back over and try getting them right into photos. So this time, let's pick 8, 19, 20, and 21. We'll hit Share again. We'll go to Save 3 images this time. Looks like it did something. So we'll switch over here to Photos. And there's the 3 photos imported directly into the Photos app. So that works as well. Well, that's my update on a rather disappointing discovery I made with the Gnarbox 2.0. Thankfully, as I demonstrated, there are plenty of workarounds until Gnarbox updates its software so that the Selects app will read the RAW files. Now, I'd like to hear your comments below. What do you think about this situation? Does it change your opinion that such an expensive device can't even read the RAW files from a rather widely distributed camera, the M6 Mark II? I'd also like to hear from the owners of this camera. Do you see any advantage in using the Gnarbox 2.0 in its current state? I guess perhaps if you're a traveler and you're out in really rugged areas, the Gnarbox 2.0 could be quite handy. But me personally, I don't see how it's going to fit into my workflow. The gnarliest places I go to is a softball field or a skate park to videotape my kids. The rest of the stuff I do is pretty much here at home. And it's a lot more efficient for me to just take the SD card out and plug it right into my iPad and view my pictures and screen through them with the little heart button in Photos. And I can import all the videos directly on the iPad into Lumafusion for editing. There's no wait time for each piece of video to upload from the Gnarbox. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for watching and letting me get this off my chest. I've been obsessing over this now for a couple weeks, and I think I can finally climb out of this waffle square and move on to the next thing. Until next time, thank you for watching.